What time is it in Jamaica right now?
It's 11:28.
Quite late.
Yeah, you could say that.
So we've just played our final game of the US women's national team summer series, and it has ended in defeat, unfortunately, 4-0. We were defeated by the host. What do you make of the game?
For starters, pretty much, I would say that it was an okay result from our end because it could have been a lot worse. But there's some key points where I got out of the game that it was pretty much good. A few players that actually draw my eye. Pretty much, I'm disappointed with what I actually got out of the game in a sense. With some of the players, what I had an high expectations from, but it's been 14 months since the players have last linked up and actually played some football. So at the end of the day, it's a give and take situation. So it's a bittersweet moment from my end, but I'm still grateful for the match. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you've quite rightly put it. It is somewhat expected of a scoreline because it has been, as you've quite rightly put it, well over a year since the Reggae Girls were able to play a match, whether it's competitive or friendly. Obviously, our last game ended with a 1-0 win against Nigeria. What were some of your key takeaways from the game?
Um, all right. So relating with the key takeaways, I could see that pertaining with the new players, you can see the hunger in them, especially the player that come in for Sashana Campbell and also the number 8. The desire. I could feel it in that match. Coming right away afterward, the work rate was just awesome. I can see that this side just needs some more time to gel. There's a lot of good stuff in the future for them. So the Matthews hold their own up front. It was pretty good. Even though the support system wasn't really there, so I couldn't really blame the front line. Jody Brown, that young lady is a beast. I'm telling you. Every time I see her with the ball, I'm like, goosebumps take me up right off the bat. Trust me. Jody Brown. I would say the man of the match for me, or to keep some of the strong key points, would be Snyder, Brown, Sweeby. Those three dead down flat. Yeah, for a
That so
fact.
you're giving your who are you giving your woman of the match to?
Um, I would give it to Swaby, Allison. I
Alison
would give it
Swaby. It's
definitely.
interesting that you brought up the Swaby sisters because, of course, Chantal Swaby came inches close to heading home a goal for us inside the first half with a from a direct free kick. What did you make of that moment?
Well, it was a good moment. To be honest, I thought the goal was gonna come. I think it was gonna even score without the contact, but I like the effort that he made. But apart from that, I wasn't really impressed with Chantel's gameplay. She was lost majority of the game. She didn't have she wasn't able to go up and down. I'm not quite sure if it's because of the season that they had. In that case, they're maybe not at their best. Haven't had much time to gel, and recently just coming off a match. Maybe the recover period, it's not probably the best for them. But not just her, but a lot of the players. I could see that they were really tired. Even the last goal, the number 4, she's a new player. I'm not quite sure what her name is, but as you could see when Swaby got back, she was just tracking back. I actually laughed with that last goal score because I was saying, "Wow, I can't believe this." But then again, you know what I'm saying. You can't really blame the players. It's been a long season, the COVID, so it's difficult to require a certain expectation, but yet there's still gonna be a bar. You know what I'm saying? That we have to work with because after all, they're the senior team. It's not a B team, a C team. It's the big team. What about you?
Absolutely. I agree with some of the points that you've made. I'm keen to know your opinion and seeing Konya Plummer back with the captain's armband. Of course, we know that she conceded the penalty in the first half, but how happy are you to see Plummer back with the captain's armband?
Yes, she's definitely a leader. To be honest, um, she's very versatile. I would even use her she can operate as a defensive midfielder to me also, not only a center back. However, that she could be a little bit reckless at times, even during the World Cup the other day, you could actually see she made a one and two, a little bit tacky tackles that, could be avoided. But then again, some of the reason why these things happen is players getting out of their position at times, giving away silly free kick and penalties in bad areas. You know what I'm saying? Some little integrated stuff. But I think she and Swaby has a good partnership around the back. You know, my main problem is relating with the wing backs. You know what I'm saying? The right back and the left back. Sasha, that's my girl, one of my favorite players, definitely. um I'm not quite sure what was the plan exactly, but um USA was pressing wide. There was drifting a lot wide majority of the game, and it's like they're getting caught up almost every counter attack that was actually on them. So I was wondering what was the plan, because you know the pace of the US on the wings, it was imminent, and you could see that they were going behind Den and also Sasha, and it's like they're only playing catch up. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, I'm not quite sure exactly what was the plan, but I think that was one of the main reason why we continuously having those dangerous attacks from the US. What's your input on that part?
I think that you're right with the points that you've made, but it just goes back to your initial point when we were speaking like off air. It is, as we've said before, it is an expected result. It might have been even more damaging because, as we've said before, they are the reigning World Cup champions. We're playing them at home in their mini series, their mini tournament, and there's so much that went against us. You spoke about their style of play, and obviously we're still trying to find out our new identity with current senior experienced players and new recruits coming into the squad. USA at times pretty much ran rings around us. They were playing around us, they were playing through us, and when that didn't work, they were playing over us. So they're definitely a team that's very well fine tuned. What do you make of that?
Well, you're right, but to be honest, to a certain extent, I would agree with you on that one. Look at it this way, right? If you could see, right? I didn't watch the Portugal game, but the USA struggled against them. Our main problem was the simple mistake that we made. This game could have drawn, even though we're on USA side. This game could have drawn simply, even though we didn't get any really clear chances on the US goal, but we could have at least got a draw. If it's a case that we played compact, overlap, we probably should have man mark a little bit better. And actually, when we were deciding on doing zonal runs, we did that tightly. As you can see, the first goal in 23 seconds, that's a silly goal to give up there. You know what I'm saying? But the tension, the anxiety, you're playing the US, the fan base, all the psychological part aspect of the game, when that turn up, it can affect all the players. So therefore, you know, um, my end, I'm still satisfied somewhat, but I believe that we could have at least grind a draw out of this game without those simple errors.
What would a draw have looked like in your opinion? Like, would that have been a high scoring draw or a 1-1, a two? Obviously, you touched on the Portugal game, and rightly so, because the USA only beat Portugal 1-0. But don't you
Right.
think that they would have want to rectify that result? Although it was a win, it wasn't a massive win. Don't you think that they would have gone into the game against us thinking they want to produce a much better performance. And bearing in
Right.
mind, we also have the Olympics coming up as well.
I do understand, and you're correct, and I do agree with you on that. But you have to look on it this way also. Remember that they also made several changes into this game. You know, some of they rotate the starting 11 also, and to be honest, the starting 11 that we played against, it's not even their strongest 11. However, you know, at the end of the day, we're not at our full side either, you know. But for me, I'm seeing where we could have actually got a nil all at least or 1-1, you know. We didn't get much chances, but to be honest, I believe if at least we get a goal up front or so, we'll definitely give Schneider something to defend our work with, and also Sway, because you know Swaby's not going out without a bang. You know what I'm saying? But then again, as I said before, it wouldn't be easy. Would have everyone would have to turn up. You know, a lot of players didn't turn up. You know, Tiffany, she was in and out of the game. Um, Solana, she didn't get the time that she didn't really get to master the game to her extent, you know. For me, Chantel was lost in the game, you know. The substitutions, I think they could have been a little bit earlier for my liking, because I wanted to see more of the new players, you know. As you can see, the number 18 was quick out of the blocks, and the number 8 that went on was quick on the blocks. And I wanted to see a little bit more from McCoy, see what he could do, because I didn't really can recall seeing what he really has to offer. You know, there's still a lot we haven't seen from that player also. But you know, we missed out our a lot of key players. You know, I'm not quite sure what to set us with Von Plaza, or also I know Bunny, you know, wants some time off. But you know, Marlo Svetman, I'm not quite sure. But you know, it's not our strongest side. But you know, it's definitely gonna be a lot of good stuff in the future for a fact. You know, I'm so proud, to be honest. Great stuff.
You touched on a few key players there who weren't part of the mini series. Who's the
Right.
player that you missed the most?
You know, to be honest, there's quite a few. You know, but if you want to go about saying it that way, it has to be Bunny. You know, Marla Svetman is really one of the great player. You know. But if you're gonna say someone that I'm dying to see, it would be Bunny. Because to be honest, if Bunny was playing tonight, it would be a totally different game. We would at least, because Bunny like to hit him from way out, so we'll at least have probably 5 shots. I'm not quite sure if it would be on target, but it would be a different ball game if Bunny was on the field. Trust me.
And yeah,
Right.
it would have been great if Bunny was part of the squad. But as you've quite rightly put it, she has requested to have some time off. She needs some rest because she's had a stellar season over in France. So yeah, it's good that she's getting some time off.
But you know what? There's another key factor we can pull from this match is at least you can say we made an improvement compared to the last time we played against the US, because at the last time we got 6. You know what I'm saying? Not quite sure it was 3 in the first half or so, but um, I could see that, you know, we're growing as a nation. You know, I could see that the JFF has actually chipped in, and you know, and the cohesion and the gathering, you know, it's a healthy environment, and I think it's only fair, and I really applaud the JFF to keep this trend going up, and you know, don't let this only happen just when it comes on to the World Cup qualifiers. We want to see the Reggae Girls getting the same respect as the Reggae Boys, you know, and vice versa. And you know, it's really some awesome stuff that I'm seeing right now. You know, it's I'm so glad that we managed to, you know, 2 games we managed to win one. You know, we lost the second one, but at least it was not a case that it was, you know, not able to tolerate the big loss. But at the end of the day, you know, we're gonna only get better from now going forward.
Absolutely, absolutely. I cannot disagree with you on that. There were periods of the game where we did look as if we lacked organization. And again, we can just put that down to the time that we've had with each other over the last 15 months and counting. And again, you know, we've got new recruits coming into the squad, so we're not trying to make excuses for the girls, but you know, when you compare Nigeria to the USA, two different ball game.
You're definitely right. To be honest, Coach Bubsy and Coach Hughes, Menzies, you know, think their styles are totally different. Pertaining with maybe their selection also, but to be honest, I didn't think the game was organized pertaining with a game plan, because even the second half, it was the same game played. They keep on getting caught outside of the fullback areas. Still giving away the ball in some silly areas. We didn't have any time to make one or two passes. I'm seeing when Solana is trying to hold up the ball, but the other players are just trying to rush it and so forth. So we didn't have any time to, we know going into the match that we were not going to dominate when it comes down to ball position. It's not a case that this is something new to us. When it comes down to both women and men's side, that's not really our style of playing. We are not a case there where we keep the ball right through the game, and we are not a possession team. We're a quick counter attacking football side where we get the ball, tread one and two passes straight towards the goal. That's how we play, and that's what I'm used to. But then again, football is evolving to this game where it's not only about basic speed. It's good when you're able to keep the ball close, make one and two in runs, and tread the ball and so forth. But you have to be composed. You have to know when to settle the game, dictate the tempo. Because when you think about it, right, as you can see that the climate is really hot over there, and the players are tired, because even the first 5-10 minutes, the way that I see how the girls press, they're not synchronized. How two players go after one. It's like they're just dragging on the field like they are dehydrated, and the game just started. I was like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I think it may have something to do with the fitness of some of the players also. I'm hearing that Matthew is just recovering from injuries. So, there's a lot of stuff going on pertaining to some of the players. But the outcome that I could say here is, they give their all, and the score could have been worse. Kudos to Schneider in goal, because she was awesome. I give her a 10.
Since we're on the topic of Sydney Schneider, I hope that
Right.
she's okay. She did take a blast to the face, and I thought because of precautionary reason, it would have been great to substitute her, but she came back out and saw the full 90 plus minutes. So I hope that it's nothing concerning from her. And also Rose Lavelle as well. She obviously went off through injury, so I hope that it's nothing long term and that both players are able to make a speedy recovery if they are injured.
Yeah, I am definitely. Roosevelt is such a great player. I watched her in the World Cup. She's so composed. Her first touch is deadly. There's a lot of stuff we could talk about her for days. But then again, I watched Sydney develop over the years. She gained so much confidence going into the World Cup, and to be honest, she's just like her Andre Blake. She has good. To be honest, if you watch it, she never spilled a ball in the entire match. As I said, the goal that scored her is not nothing that she could have done about it. The last goal, it's so close. She got a hand to it, but how it goes at sometimes. But I'm pretty pleased with her performance. So that's why I said between her and Swede would have got the man of the match for me. But then again, I think it's only fair. I think they could have rotated. I wanted to see, Yasmin Jemison has been without a club, but I wanted to see maybe at least 5-10 minutes or so in the game, see what she still has. You know, because we want to try to feel out all of the players and so forth. At the end of the day, it's football. Not everyone can play, but there's a lot of good stuff coming forward. There's three talented goalkeeper. Um, I didn't really get to see what the Tottenham keeper can do that much. But watching the highlights, I can see that she's old in her own too. So Sydney Shanna better watch out, because she's in for the kill.
touched on something quite key there, quite important. So I just backtrack just a little bit. You touched on our identity and us playing attractive football. Obviously, we're under new coach going
Right.
forward. What type of identity would you like us to create?
Well, our style naturally, we like to move the ball quickly, and basically our football style is mostly counter. However, I think football is more than beyond normal counter attacking. We need to hold the ball a little bit more. We need to conserve our energy and build the tempo of the game as the game goes on. So, for example, the first 15 minutes we'll be able to make a 1 and 2 diagonal passes, one and two short passes, down the flank, through the middle, and keep the ball position and more, especially when it comes on to playing maybe bigger teams like the Canadas of this world, the US of this world. Um, you know, at the end of the day, we know we are able when it comes on to physicality and so forth. No one can outrun us when it comes down to that part. So we already have that part locked. I think it's a key factor going forward that we need to hold the ball, because without the ball, we cannot score. We need to somehow achieve the ball position in our grasp. As you can see, that's a little bit struggling for us. Because I'm not quite sure pertaining what the coaches normally implement when the players come in, what plays style they want them to play. But I think at the end of the day, no one is faster than the ball, so we need to move the ball more, need to conserve our energy and keep the ball position. And by doing that with our counter attacking, we'll be more successful, and then we'll be able to get more result of more matches and pertaining to that, even having a bigger score. Because majority of our matches we probably not only for the woman but also the men's side, we're not a side that score a lot of goals like 5, 6, 7, but we do manage to get our goals at times. But relating by implementing this, will definitely play more of a eye-catching football. We will be more deadly on the counter attacks when we will be able to stream the right passes. So there's a lot of stuff that we could work on the crafts. Being a little bit more technical when it comes on to the dribbling perspective, because sometimes I can see that the players going forward, they try to beat the 1 and 2 players, and sometimes it fumbles out and we even go for a throw. So being a little bit more flash in the final third also, and with decision making, that would be key for us to even make it to the next World Cup.
Touching on what you've just said, most of what you've just said, in order to achieve the bulk of what you've just mentioned,
All right.
comes with practice, continuous practice. So getting those fixtures in the diary, not having to wait another 6 or 1 year until we play a game, whether it's a competitive match or a friendly match. We need to look forward to doing things the modern way. Obviously, with the men's side, because you touched on them, they recently had 3 dates in the diary, and I can't remember ever seeing that. So we need to implement that thought process onto the Reggae Girls, and see how successful, what type of success we get out of that.
Yes, definitely. We need to strive for equality when it comes on to both men, football and women. At the end of the day, both sides are representing Jamaica, and we're both proud of both of them. The women recently went to the World Cup. Now it's the men time to prove. Then the women's time to prove. At the end of the day, we're all Jamaicans. We all want best for each other. So, as I said, we definitely need to get in more games. It's COVID, the COVID situation now. It's a struggle for everyone, but then again, we cannot only blame it on COVID, because a lot of small nations are still getting their games. We still have to prepare, because there's no excuse when it comes on to World Cup qualifier, and when it comes down to the fan base, we're gonna know why we didn't make it to the World Cup, because everyone can use the same excuse, COVID, right? So that's a fact.
I do not disagree. And before we go, Brian, I guess we have to say a massive thank you to the US for inviting us along to their summer series. Thanks to them, we're able to see our girls compete. It's been long overdue. I was starting to lose my mind because I miss seeing them play so much. So massive thank you to the USA for inviting us along to their mini series, and good luck to the USA and Nigeria. They face each other in the next couple of days. So may the best team win.
Definitely, definitely. What's your prediction on that match?
It's difficult to predict that one as well because I was keeping my eye on the Portugal game and Nigeria were trailing, and they came back and the game finished 3-all, which I was really, really pleased for them. So, when you compare it to the Jamaica game, people might have thought that because Portugal only lost 1-0 to the US and Nigeria lost to Jamaica, that Nigeria would then lose to Portugal. But Nigeria went out with a point to prove, like, there's no way we're losing 2 games on the trot.
Definitely, as you can see, that the ball is really wrong. But we're definitely always grateful. There's a strong rivalry between USA and Jamaica. So we're definitely not gonna back down from any invitation that we get from the US. But this is a case where we're gonna have to build from it, improve, and when they come around again, we're better, and we definitely have a point to prove. This is what the fourth encounter, and they scored out 26 goals on us without a scoring, I think. So we definitely have to make some history now. The next game we want to at least score a goal, at least get a result, somewhat. We need to make some statements here. But that's pretty much what I'm thinking about in the upcoming future versus the US.
Absolutely, because you've quite rightly put it in a beautiful way. This was the friendly of the not so friendly fixture between us and the US. I don't know how their fans feel, but when it comes to football or track and field, we never want to lose against the USA. Um, Unfortunately, they got us again. So hopefully, as you just suggested, maybe next time round we might be able to get one up on them, and I think that would make Jamaican fans all across the world extremely happy.
Definitely, definitely, most definitely. As I said, there's a lot of good stuff in the midst. We only can get better from now, and that's pretty much how I see it. The girls are confident. They're working hard. As you can see, women football is only growing. Um, a lot of these players now are basically going pro, getting scholarship to play ball. So the sport overall is growing, and it's only can getting better. So therefore, as time goes on, the new generation, so forth. So we probably will be the gap will definitely, as the maybe the next World Cup will be the gap between the Jamaica and the US will probably decrease a little bit, so we're playing catch up, but I know for a fact that we'll definitely be able to improve and make the nation proud.
Absolutely. Brian, where can people find you on social media just in case they want to reach out to you? Maybe they want to be your friend, maybe they like your vibe. Where can people find you?
Most definitely, you can actually find me on Instagram, Jamaica underscore for life, the number 4, and that's LIFE life. Yes, you can find me on Facebook also, Brain Morgan, and also Twitter, same thing, Jamaica underscore for life. Yeah, pretty much those are the media that I use. So you guys can add me up.
Who do you support, Brian? Who's your club?
Definitely it's Barcelona, without a doubt.
Really?
Yeah,
I
I'm a
had you
Barca
down as
fan.
a Manchester United fan, so
No, I like Manchester City. If I should pick a English side, I would definitely go with Manchester City. But
I can live with that.
Barca fan all the way. I know you're an Arsenal fan, but Barca.
I can live with that. You shouldn't have won the 2006 Champions League final, by the way. But despite that, like I said, I can live with you being a Barcelona fan. Brian, thank you so much for blessing me with a moment of your time. We will no doubt do this again in the future. Just a reminder, the final game in our mini series, the mini US Women's National Team Summer Series, it finished USA 4, Jamaica 0.